We're a dozen weeks in. Week 12 NFL picks. No international games. 4 teams on byes, including the Broncos and the Chargers in the AFC West. We've got Colts Chiefs on CBS. We've got Bears Steelers on CBS. And we've got Pete Prisco back on top.
I'm back!
11-5 week.
I was on fire.
What the heck am I doing?
And I hit my best bet, too.
Yes, you did. Kyle's best bets fall to 3 and 8. Still over 500, though.
You were on a heater last year.
Yeah, well, you know.
Like the league.
Beginner's luck.
We're all up and down,
I was the
up and down.
Commanders last year. I'm the Commanders this year.
There you go.
Chris Hassel with Kyle Long.
Nobody's
and Pete Prisco. Let's jump into it. Thursday Night Football. Josh Allen coming off that 6-touchdown game on the road in Houston against the #1 defense in the NFL.
They set him free. They set him free. What have I been saying? Let him be Josh Allen. And they did. And I'll take 6 touchdowns and 2 turnovers every single game. But, you know, these teams in this league play scared. Well, the Bills didn't play scared the other day, and look what happened. You know, they got to get away from being a run team. Their run defense is so bad right now that the best way to put pressure on the opposition to get away from the run is to throw the football and score points and make them play from behind. They did that the other day. This is going to be a real challenge for them on the road because that defense is really good. But I really believe in this offense, and I believe in that quarterback. And Davis Mills on the other side, you're right. He's 2-0 in his 2 games.
I never said anything about him being 2-0.
Yes, you did. Earlier you did. And you know what? And you know what?
Stuck your neck out for
That was
Davis
Lee
Mills.
That was Lee
And you know what? And you know what? He's going to be 2-1 because I think the Bills go in there.
Well, look at those numbers for Allen on Thursday nights, 8-0.
Yeah, I also think Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills go and handle business. And you mentioned them getting back to what they do best, which is just watch Josh Allen be a freak. Passing team, but I would argue they lean more into being a running team, not a turn and hand it off running team. A team that says, we're going to call this pass, but we're totally okay with you taking off with it, Josh. Particularly in the low red area. That's where you see Josh Allen take over games. Doesn't matter who's playing defense. 17's pretty special. I got the Bills.
The Bills are kind of flying under the radar a little bit.
Well, because they've lost some games.
I know.
They're not in first place.
They flew under the Dolphins too.
They didn't show up that day. They're kind of like we haven't seen the best of the Buffalo Bills yet.
Worried about the defense at all? Back-to-back games.
They'll get guys back.
Plus.
They'll get guys back. I think they'll be fine.
Bills?
Yeah.
Fine. Bills.
They keep panning at Joey Bosa over there. They're just giving up these big explosive runs, and Joey Bosa looks tired. You need some help, man.
Yeah, he does.
All right. Well,
they have to score 6 touchdowns offensively.
Because the Houston Texans are right in the mix now. Only a game out of that last wild card spot. They've won 5 of their last 7 after that 0-3 start.
You got the Bills too, right?
Yeah, I got the Bills.
Yeah. Both on the Bills, -5.5 on the road. You can see Kyle on NFL Today Plus on Sunday mornings. Hey, we did this just for you. We didn't cut off your head this
That's
week.
good.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
It's so weird. We should play a game. Let's
Like,
add in.
wait,
can we add in a game like Kyle touching his right
that'll be
ear?
that'll be one of our picks. Is his head cut off or
That's
not?
good.
That's win or lose. We
Head
gotta
or no head.
Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. He might chug a beer or two every now and then. Coming up, we're picking the 1 p.m. Eastern slate on CBS. The New England
Get
Patriots.
those jerseys out of here,
Going
Hass.
for a 9th straight win. They won't be wearing them this weekend, I don't think. All right, let's pick the early slate on CBS, where we have some really interesting matchups. The Chiefs at home against the Colts, really needing a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Patriots going for a 9th straight. Bears and Steelers in a first place versus first place showdown. And the Ravens looking to maybe get even closer to the Steelers.
You didn't do that with the same vigor you usually do it with. Go ahead. Give us another one.
CBS.
There you go. There you go.
We can start now.
We can go.
That's good. Now he's getting carried away.
Give a guy an inch, he'll take a mile.
All right, we're back to pick games against the spread. Let's start with the Chiefs. They continue to lose. They continue to be favorites in every game, -3.5 against the Indianapolis Colts.
And I think this is a bad spot for the Colts. You're getting a team that did not play well last week in Denver, particularly a quarterback who did not play well in Denver last week, and you're home. And they're waiting for a team. Look, the Colts have been great this year. They're coming off the bye. They've been rested. But this is a bad spot. I just think this Chiefs team has so much history, so much pride, and they're going to show it on Sunday. I'm taking the Chiefs.
A well-rested running football team is a scary football team. I also think that the Indianapolis Colts, they look at this game as a hurdle they need to jump. Just not just another game in the schedule, but if we want to go where we want to go as a football team, and people are going to take us seriously, these are the type of games you have to go win, the type of environment you have to go win in. That being said, I will be taking the desperate Kansas City Chiefs in this one, because you don't pick against that guy right there, as I've done a few times this season.
Okay, we saw the Sam Darnold game last week. Are you expecting at some point to see the Daniel Jones game?
Sounds like you are.
At some point.
He has started to turn the ball over. Daniel Jones, 7 giveaways in his last 2 games.
That's not good.
And going into that place and playing is tough. You know, you played there. It's tough, man. It's a tough place to play for an opposition. If they can somehow choke off the run, the Chiefs, and put the game on Daniel Jones, then I think they win by 10 points.
How do they stop?
That's the question. Well, Chris Jones, show up. How about that? Chris Jones, in big games, usually shows up. Well, this is a big game. Go become a part.
Second level of that defense has to be damn near perfect. We understand that Jonathan Taylor is going to get 4, 4.5, maybe 5 yards a pop, but we can't allow him to have 8, 9, 10 yards.
Or 69
on some of these runs,
right?
Because we've seen him. I mean, he can beat you up at the line of scrimmage in the tackle box, but to Pete's point, it's the home runs that kill your defense.
Correct.
Mahomes has lost 2 straight games. He's never lost 3 straight in one
and he
regular
won't.
season.
And he won't.
Again, that one's on CBS. Let's go to the Patriots. Looking for their 9th straight win. They are 7.5-point favorites in Cincinnati. Jamar Chase, at least as of Tuesday, suspended for this game, barring an appeal after spitting on Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. You want to get suspended for a couple weeks?
I didn't spit on him.
Sure you didn't. There's a whole loogie coming out of your mouth. Look, it's a vile, disgusting thing. He should have been suspended.
Yes.
No question about it. You don't do that to somebody else. And, look, it's going to hurt them. But this team isn't going anywhere. I just, you look at them, they talk about Joe Burrow coming back. Should he come back? I mean, if he's cleared, Joe Burrow wants to play football, so I understand it. But should he come back if this team is eliminated from playoff contention? And the answer to that is probably on him. If he wants to play, you play. He's not playing here. Flacco's going to play here. And I think this is one of those games where the Patriots are going to come down a little bit. I think they've been on these highs, and I think they're going to go into this game, and the Bengals are going to hang around. Even without Chase, I think they hang around this game. The spread's way too bloated for me. I'm going to take the points.
Spread's bloated, but I expect this Patriots team to run the football. I really like, obviously, Drake May, but the things that they do on the ground, I enjoy them as well. And if you feel like your team is poised for one of these down weeks, run the football well. They'll wake up quick and go.
Big number though.
Business.
You don't.
Huge number.
Yeah. Who do you got?
I got the Patriots.
Okay, you're laying it.
Travion Henderson, 5 touchdowns in his last 2 games. Is he a star in the making?
He looks good. He got that explosive ability, man. He's got that home run speed.
Drake May, by the way, 2nd in MVP voting, behind only Matthew Stafford. It's really close though, and they're starting to distance themselves a little bit from the rest of the pack, and a chance to put up a bunch of points against that bad defense. Also at 1 o'clock on CBS, Kyle, the Kings of the North, Chicago Bears, first place NFC North, Pittsburgh Steelers, first place AFC North, going at it in Chicago.
Look, it's 2 physical football teams. If you watch the line of scrimmage for both of these offenses, you'll see that they definitely do have an identity. I love what the Chicago Bears have been leaning into with their run game, and I also like what Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson have been trying to do down the field. I know they didn't connect on all their throws this past game, but it tells me that the confidence level from Ben Johnson to Caleb Williams is getting higher. And you can kind of see this whole team playing like that. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, you got to hope that Aaron Rodgers is ready to go play for your team. And Bears fans, we want to see Rodgers too, and we prefer him if he's a little bit limpy, a little bit gimpy. Okay, we don't want to see the big guy coming back, especially with how hot things are in Chicago right now. I will be taking the Bears. It's going to be a raucous environment. I anticipate this defense trying to get after Aaron Rodgers or whoever it is playing quarterback.
It's a fractured left wrist, so the non-throwing wrist. As of Tuesday, he's pushing to play.
Throw a copper fit on there like Jerry Rice and Brett Favre.
How do you hand off with that hand? It's going to be, it could be problematic for him. But so
he's a professional.
Yeah. Look, I think he wants to play. I think he's probably going to play.
There's no doubt he wants to play.
And I think he's going to play. And I think they're going to hang around in this game. Look, I love what the Bears have done. I think Ben Johnson's done a great job, but they have one victory over where they've played one team with a winning record, and they lost to them. It was the Lions. They got whacked.
You can only play the teams that are on your schedule, Pete.
You sound like a player. You really do sound like a player.
Remember when he jumped into Lambeau and he was a Packer fan to start the year?
Yeah, now
and Tucker Kraft got hurt.
Now he's back on the Bears. Now he's back on the Bears, and if the Bears go rotten because their schedule gets tougher, he's going to go back to the Packers. We know how you operate.
I got the navy and orange on today, buddy.
You do.
I'm all bared out.
You do. Look, Ben Johnson's done a great job with this team, and Caleb Williams is better than he's been. No question about it. He's improved them. The run game, you mentioned it. The offensive line has come together. Look, they spent a lot of money on that offensive line, and we early in the season they weren't very good. They've adjusted a little bit to Dahlman. He didn't fit right away with what they were doing. He's been much better at center, so I think they can run the ball. I just think the Steelers are going to show up and hang around. I think the Bears will win the game, but I'll take the points. I think it's going to be really, really
I think they're building a bully up front. They've got one of the most cerebral players in All-Pro, Joe Thuney, but if you go with the right guard position, Jonah Jackson's
played well,
kicking some
the
ass
right side has been
at
kicking
the line of scrimmage, and he's got his buddy the Mountain Darnell Wright right next to him. That's a formidable duo there. I really enjoy watching this group.
Yep,
they've been doing it a lot in the final 2 minutes, though. 5 times they've come from behind in the final 2 minutes. No team since at least 1970 has won more games when trailing with under 2 minutes than the Chicago Bears right now with 5. Let's go to the Jets and the Ravens, and it's obviously a huge spread here, 13.5. If the Steelers don't beat the Bears, they're likely going to be even with Baltimore here.
Well, they will be even with Baltimore because the Jets are awful.
Tyrod Taylor's getting the start, by the way.
Does it really matter?
It's a huge number, Pete.
Does it really matter? Does it matter who starts at quarterback for the Jets? They're awful. Both of them are bad. The offense is bad. And you look at the Ravens, they haven't been great on offense. I mean, I'm a little concerned about Lamar Jackson. He hasn't looked the same. Well, he will in this one. He's going to get back to it. And he hasn't run that much. His running is down. I think that injury's still impacting him. He's not the same player when he can't move the way he normally does. So I think you add it all up. I think this is an opportunity for them to look like the Ravens on offense again. We haven't seen that yet. We saw last week against the Browns. They were had real struggles moving the football. They will move it here. They will get some big-time yards. Henry ran it last week. He'll continue to run it. They're getting back to being the Ravens. And by the way, if they win the division, nobody's going to want to play them in the playoffs. They cover the number.
There used to be matchups I'd be a part of where I would imagine that we would run the ball 50 times between their offense and our offense. Like, I look at this Jets-Ravens game, and if the game goes as I expect it to go, it could be one of the quickest national football
You get to the
games.
bar quicker.
Just get to the locker room as quick as
Get to the bar
Let's
quick.
run the hell out of the football. And I think about the distinguishing factor between these two teams. It's the offense. And that guy Lamar Jackson. I'm going to be picking the Ravens regardless of the number, and I hope that we do get to see that style of play from Lamar where he is running around again, because when the playoffs come, they're going to need that from him.
This would be a 5th straight win for the Baltimore Ravens and would bring them up into first place if the Bears beat the Steelers, if your team holds up their end of the bet. Those are the games on CBS in the early slate, a loaded early window. We've got the NFL today, beginning at noon Eastern time. The boys back in studio this week on CBS and Paramount+. Coming up, the other 1 p.m. games, including a bunch of NFC North teams that are now chasing the Chicago Bears, including the Packers hosting the Vikings. Rodgers. Looking at the other 1 o'clock games, 3 of them involving 3 NFC North teams. The Packers, home against the Vikings. Lions, home against the Giants. That's a double-digit number. And you want a bigger number? How about the Seahawks? Upset, coming off that loss to the Rams. Poor Titans. We'll get them in Nashville. 1 o'clock Eastern time. We'll start it with the Green Bay Packers starting a very important stretch of 3 consecutive games in the division with Minnesota.
Well, they're getting a quarterback in Minnesota that's not playing very well. They have a quarterback problem. J.J. McCarthy was awful last week, and mechanically, he's really bad. When you put the tape on, I mean, he's just not setting his feet, and he's throwing off the back foot. It just doesn't look comfortable. And right now, Minnesota has to be concerned about where they are. You saw some frustration from Justin Jefferson last week. You don't usually see that from him. And so I think that's building, and that makes this an enormous game for the Vikings. I mean, the bottom line is they let guys, Sam Darnold go. Daniel Jones was in the building. They tried to keep him, but they didn't get to keep him, and now you're stuck with J.J. McCarthy. And so he's got to play better. Everybody always says, well, it's only a couple games for him. Well, the time is now. You know, the time is that you built this thing around him. He's your guy, so he has to play better. But I think this is a tough spot for them. I really do.
Jason, Blake Bortles, Zach.
I mean, look at that group. Look at that group you're in there with. I mean, come on. It's a who's who of who you don't want to be. And so at the quarterback position. So I think he needs to pick it up. I just think this is a really tough spot for them. The flip side is on the other side, the Packers haven't played their best football yet. They really have not. Not in any way, shape, or form. They have not played their best football. There's been injury problems. There's been issues. But what we saw last week was we saw the quarterback take over again, and he needed to. Josh Jacobs got hurt, and you never want to see a guy get hurt. But the running game shouldn't be the emphasis with the Green Bay Packers. They should be throwing the football, and I think they're another team that I say let it loose. We saw that a couple weeks ago against the Eagles. They didn't let it loose. This game, they will let it loose. And when you face that Flores defense, you can't just line up and run the football. You have to run it, but you have to be able to hit those shot plays down the field, and I think they will. I'm going to take the Packers.
I love what you said there about the Packers and their game plan against Flores. You have to fight fire with fire a little bit, particularly against an aggressive play caller like that in Minnesota. But to your point about the Green Bay Packers, this was a team that at the beginning of the year, you, me, Chris, a number of people were like, they have to be one of the most complete football teams in the National Football League. And you go to the locker room after the first few weeks, and some of those guys are like, we should be able to win every game. Well, you've let some really bad teams hang around. You let some bad teams beat you. This is the kind of game you have to dominate for 4 quarters and let Minnesota leave that stadium going, what the hell was that? Who the hell were those guys? That's what the Packers need to do to have success. And to your point, a lot of weapons there. Jordan Love, just find a way to get them the ball.
You know, we forget the Packers are still one of the youngest teams in the league, much like when we talk about the Panthers, the up and down. You know, you win a big game and you lose to Carolina at home. It shouldn't happen, but they're still one of the youngest teams in the league. They just need to get away from that. They need to start building games, winning games, and, you know, riding that into the
Find
postseason.
the same belief they had in weeks 1, 2, 3, and just roll
against good
with that.
teams.
Roll
when you
with
play
that.
good teams, play that way and you'll win games.
Well, they have the Vikings this week and then the Lions next week on that Detroit Thanksgiving game. And the Lions right now, the first team out of the playoffs, but a good get-right game here, you would think, at home against the Giants.
Well, let's start by saying it's time now, Dan Campbell. You don't have to go for everything. You just don't.
You've been saying that for years.
Well, you could kick field goals. It's okay to kick field goals in this league. And the bottom line is, when he started building this Lions team, he needed to do that stuff. They weren't good enough. Well, they're good enough now. You don't need to do that all the time. Look, okay, it's fine to be aggressive, and I think your team kind of rallies around that. But at some point, you got to rein it in a little bit, and I hope he does sooner rather than later, because it's going to end up costing him. I still think it cost him a chance a couple years ago against the 49ers in the playoffs when he was too aggressive. So rein that in a little bit. Get back to being who you are. I think this is a great spot. You get back home, tough loss. You played a physical style football. The defense held up against the Eagles, and you still lost that game. Now you get the Giants. You know, we don't know if Dart's going to be there or not. It looks like he might be. But the bottom line is this is an opportunity for you to win this game with your offense and put up big numbers, and I think they will.
When I think about what the Detroit Lions can accomplish this week, other than getting a win at home in a game where they should win, it is experience against a unit at the line of scrimmage that's very good and very talented. And that experience will carry them through, you know, whatever run they go on in the playoffs. There may not be another front four as talented as the one they're going to be playing against with the New York Giants. So I think you can lean on that. I do have the Lions covering this number at home. And, yeah, I've still got faith in the Lions. And I don't think Dan Campbell has to kick field goals. There's no rule in the rule book that says that, Pete.
There's a rule in my rule book that says that.
How do you feel about what he does if you're a player?
I love it.
On that team?
If you've got a coach that usually as an offensive lineman, if it's fourth and, you know, deliberatable, I'm going to be out there pointing at the ground. And that's a universal signal for what, Pete? Run the football. We want
every offensive lineman wants you to run the football.
When you've got a head coach that was a part of a huddle like that when he played and was one of those badasses that's now on the sideline saying, I have confidence in my group, it means the world to you. You know what I mean? Like it's that extra hand shoving you from behind. That's your coach's confidence. And I love it.
Well, the other day it shoved them to 6-4. I mean, that's what
happens. But historically, and I like the point you made about they're not the same team as when he had to be desperate.
Right.
But that's your identity, okay? That's your MO. Stick to it. Stick to your guns.
Remember the playoff game against the 49ers? He was too aggressive. He might have won the game. They might have went to the Super Bowl that year, and they didn't because he was too aggressive. There's time to be aggressive, and I like it. There's time not to be, and sometimes he just does it for the sake of doing it, I think.
It's a heat check.
Yeah.
See what
Kick a field goal. Get some momentum.
Stay out there. I love that.
Pick the damn. It's okay to punt. It's okay to kick field goals in this league. Just telling the coaches. Just reminding them out there.
You're always getting on people for not being aggressive enough. You're like you're being too.
Ease up on that aggression over there.
Play calling. You can be aggressive, but I think when it comes to getting points, get the points in certain situations.
Pete, not an analytics guy at all. Let's go to the Seahawks and Titans. Titans, the only team without multiple wins this season, still sitting on that one. Seahawks coming in. Sam Darnold turning into a pumpkin a few weeks early ahead of Thanksgiving for you, Pete.
It was not very good. I mean, look, he really struggled. And when you watch it, he saw ghosts and he saw the pressure. And remember, go back to last year. When he played the Rams in the playoffs last year when he was with the Vikings, same thing. Turned the ball over, saw ghosts. When he played him in the regular season, he got hit. And when you start getting hit by a team and starts getting into your head, you're sped up. And if you watch that tape, he was really sped up and he was forcing things. He just didn't look comfortable. And yet they still had a chance to win the game because their defense is that good. They got after it last week. They matched up with the Rams. They got after the quarterback, and they can do a lot of different things on that side of the ball. When you watch the Titans, they're so limited on offense, and they don't have weapons on the outside, and Cam Ward has struggled. This is the perfect chance for the Seattle Seahawks to get back on track. You go in there with your defense and you just shut them down, and you don't have to get Sam Darnold to throw the ball all over the place. He was cooking before last week. Look, he can get back to that. They need to run the ball more. They did a little bit last week, but you saw how the Rams played them. They played them all off because they can rush with their four, and they didn't think they could run the ball. They ran the ball a little bit, but the Seahawks need to get that run game going, and then you can get back to taking those shots down the field.
Back-to-back weeks, Pete taking the Seahawks. They didn't win last week, but they did cover for you, Pete.
And that's the moral of the story of this show.
This is a shower game for Seattle, and what I mean by that is the smell of you-know-what is still on them from last week. And 4 turnovers for the quarterback and a 1-possession loss against a team with the MVP that we think can make a run at this thing. It shows you that while the game was poor for one guy and a handful of guys for the Seahawks, you got to go dominate this Titans team and get that taste out of your mouth. Take a quick hot shower and get it out of your system. Get to travel a little bit so you don't have to be in front of your fans, which is also kind of nice, going to enemy territory and beating up on a team like the Titans. Give me the Seahawks in this one.
Question for you as a former player. You saw what Ernest Jones said after the game. He said, basically, guys like me who are expecting this to happen to Sam Darnold, he basically told everybody.
I loved what he said.
You did?
Yeah, I loved what he said.
Okay, but deep down, inside that locker room, what are you saying?
You have to believe what you've seen. And from Sam Darnold, they've seen a very good brand of football up until last week. And as a teammate, your job is to go out there and play your ass off for your quarterback, your team, and also to be supportive in the media.
Okay.
Because what happens if he goes up there and sows seeds of doubt? Because then everybody's like, hey, what the hell?
I want my guys defending me. That's what I want.
You just wonder if they actually believe it deep down.
If they believe it, and if they go, like if he goes to Tennessee,
nobody gets made to do anything.
But if he goes to Tennessee this week and plays in similar fashion in that locker room, they're going to start wondering.
Well, I wonder if it'll be the same words at the podium. But I'll tell you what, it was real, and I like that.
I liked it too. I like when a guy defends his quarterback, but deep down, if it happened again.
Because these guys, it's no secret to them the storylines that we all like to stick to. When's he going to turn into a pumpkin? This, that.
Because they have the same questions.
They haven't been questioning it all year when they've just
he's
been
great
wearing
all
teams
year.
out.
But then there's a big game and he throws 4 interceptions.
He played against the MVP. That happens, and his defense.
And again, still almost won the game with a 6.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Those are the other 1 o'clock Eastern time games. Let's recap all the picks in that 1 o'clock window from Pete and Kyle. These are the 4 on CBS. They do agree on a couple. Chiefs minus 3.5 against the Colts. In fact, Pete used the term whack when talking about the Chiefs playing the Colts this week. He thinks they are going to whack the Colts this week. Also like the Ravens minus 13.
So everybody take the Colts.
See if it's your best bet in a little bit. Packers, Lions, Seahawks. agreement across the board on the other 1 o'clock game.
Those are doomed.
All right, coming up next. Cowboys trying to make a late push to the postseason. Got off to a good start on Monday night against Vegas, but now you got the Eagles. Late afternoon games this Sunday. There are 5 of them. Nope, I miscounted. 4. 2 of them on CBS. That's the Jags and Cardinals, the Browns and Raiders. And the marquee game there, Eagles and Cowboys. And Pete hinting that he might see the Cowboys coming back in that division against the Eagles. But let's start with
tough schedule.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. Pete's Jags.
My Jags.
Man, coming off one of the more impressive wins of the Trevor Lawrence era, 35-6 against the Chargers, and a winnable game here in Arizona.
And physically mauled the Chargers on both lines of scrimmage. It was really impressive. And I said last week, it was the week that would test Liam Cohen as a head coach. When you blow a 19-point fourth quarter lead to the Texans and a backup quarterback, that could spiral out of control. Mm-hmm. And he brought them together on Monday, got them in there and said, look, we're not going to allow this to happen again. And they responded. He told Trevor Lawrence, he said, throw the football. You're going to have to let it rip. And he let it rip. He wasn't as hesitant. But more than anything, it was a physical mauling. And they hadn't done that all year. I mean, early in the season they ran the ball, but they really ran the ball in that game. They got after the quarterback, a team that couldn't pressure the quarterback at all. And we know the Chargers' offensive line isn't very good, but they pressured Justin Herbert. And it's a good sign going forward. And you look at their schedule. Going forward, they have a real chance to get back and be a playoff team, a legitimate playoff team. And I don't know how good they are, but this is a game that will challenge them again. Because you have a young team, we talk about that all the time. Now you go out on the road against an Arizona team. You haven't played well usually on the West Coast. They did win on the West Coast this year against San Francisco. When you go out there, they struggle. But they should win this game. So again, they're going to be tested, young team. I think they find a way to win it. Look, Jacoby Brissett completed 47 passes last week. I don't think he's going to do that in this game. I think Jacksonville goes out there and physically runs the football.
Well, no one had ever done it before he did it last week.
Well,
I hope he wouldn't do it 2 weeks in a row.
But you know what? If he did, and he only scored that amount of points, that's a problem.
I'll say the 2 keys for the Jaguars are this, and you touched on the first one. That's physicality at the line of scrimmage. Continue to punish quarterbacks. Justin Herbert was on the deck a number of times. They had to scrape him off with a spatula a couple times. One of those times he got hit so hard they said it was illegal. It was
a great hit. It was a
sidecar tackle.
Took away the kid's first sack of his professional
Unbelievable.
career.
I even saw J.J. Watt on the internet talking about that. I got the Jaguars in this one. To your point, they got to get hot, and I give a lot of credit to Liam Cohen for the way that he regrouped his unit. And yeah, you don't have that happen on good teams, losing to Davis Mills in the fashion that they did. But for them to turn it around and physically bludgeon a team that's a physical bully as well speaks volumes. Give me the Jaguars in this one on the road.
Cover Trey McBride. That would be a good idea because if nobody else does.
Back-to-back 100-yard games. Mark Andrews, the last to go 3 straight at the tight end position 4 years ago.
It's been phenomenal.
Brian Thomas Jr. making his return.
They think he's going to play this week. That's what I hear. And look, he had a high ankle sprain. It was a little, touch and go last week, so I think he plays this week. You know what, though? Jacoby Myers has been a great pickup for them, and he's really, really helped that passing game.
All right, if you don't get that game and you have a late window game on CBS, you'll get Browns-Raiders. Shedeur Sanders, first NFL start. Showing the watch, Kyle, even though you're not wearing one.
This is my Shedeur celebration. That's what he does. He holds the watch up. He says, you know what time it is.
He wasn't holding the watch up last week. I mean, look, it's tough for a backup quarterback to get thrown into that mix.
Didn't get any first-team reps.
Yeah, well, you rarely do get many first-team reps when you're a backup
We'll get him this week.
Yeah, he will get the reps this week.
Which will help.
I think this is a good thing. Dylan Gabriel hasn't played well enough that he shouldn't be threatened for that job to find out what Shedeur Sanders has and is. And they need to find out what he is. I think in the back of their minds, they pretty much have an idea of what they have in him. But let him go play. He has to play now, so let's see what he can do. And because there's a whole world out there that thinks he's going to be the next great quarterback in the National Football League and that Kevin Stefanski's the dumbest man in the history of the NFL. Well, we'll find out. And he went in last week. It wasn't fair to him because he didn't get a lot of reps, and it's hard to be thrown into that situation, and he didn't play very well. Now you have an opportunity against a bad football team to go be the guy that everybody out there or half the world out there thinks you can be and make plays. And can he? We'll see. But I think it's the right thing to play him because I think Dylan Gabriel isn't the long-term answer.
I think that Shedeur Sanders has an amount of pressure that not every guy in the league would understand, being that the last name on his jersey reads Sanders. He's a quarterback.
You knew that.
But he's the quarterback,
right.
too. I was an O-lineman. I just had to go kick somebody's ass, and nobody talked to me. Nobody questioned anything. Seriously, just go do your job. At the quarterback position, you touch so many different things. You're in a leadership position. I never was a captain. This is a guy that's asked to go out as a rookie and be a captain on a team where week to week the sky is falling. I'll say this. Some guys, the word gamer has been thrown around for a very long time. Some guys are just gamers. We're going to find out if Shedeur's got a little bit of that. Very small sample size this past week. But we're going to find out against a team that, it's for the taking there for Shedeur Sanders. Go, have a good game against the Las Vegas Raiders, and you can shut a lot of people up.
Do I think he has a good game? Not necessarily. Do I think they win the game? Yes, in large part because Myles Garrett might be one of those guys that just has a game where he has 7 sacks. That's how bad that Raiders offensive line is.
7 sacks?
We're both on the Browns.
I think if he has 7 sacks in this game, I think he would maybe tie the all-time NFL record.
17 in 4 weeks or something like that?
I think he's at 15 now. I think he needs 8 in the last 7 games to set the record.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the bottom line is he's playing at an unreal level right now, and the Raiders' offensive line, we saw that, Monday night, was terrible, and I think it's going to be a problem for him. So I'll take the Browns. We both have the Browns, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Both on Shedeur.
And not because of Shedeur Sanders.
I think Shedeur Sanders gets his first win this week.
I think he wins, too.
That would be a first. Browns quarterbacks 0-17 in their first career starts since returning to the NFL in '99. The guy that used
Brady
to sit
Quinn.
in that seat right there is one of them.
He's one of the Ophers.
Brady. Brady's doing great.
Yeah, he was Opher, though.
Let's go to
He wasn't doing great. He's doing great
4:25 Eastern time. Both on the Browns, by the way. Browns
Okay,
plus
Pete,
3.
were you ever in the locker room? I could hear it now.
Learn the game. Eagles and Cowboys. Eagles are winning games with great defense. Cowboys winning games by outscoring teams. This is a really fun matchup of offense versus defense.
Yeah, and look, they've done a great job on defense. Adding Jalen Phillips really gives them another body up front that can go get the quarterback, and he's made plays since he's been there. It gives you the one-on-one opportunities when you have Jalen Carter in the middle of that defense and Jordan Davis in the middle of that defense. So I love what they've done on defense. I'm worried about the Eagles' offense, I'll be honest with you. And there's some reports coming out of Philly that there's concern about Jalen Hurts. I don't know if you guys have seen them. Some guys that are well-placed, well-sourced in that around that area have come out and said there's some concern with Jalen Hurts, and he just hasn't looked that good.
What kind of concern?
Like, he's not playing the ball the way they want.
Head issues or
throwing
injury
the football
issues?
down the field. No,
Biceps not looking very big?
Yeah, no, just concerns about his play, not being injured. He needs to step it up. And
you know what doesn't concern me? The fact that he has gone to and outplayed arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of our game in the Super Bowl, the biggest game on the planet. I mean, this football.
You can't
the Eagles football
so did
team.
Nick Foles once.
Did the Eagles football team have 2 wins or 2 losses rather? They have 2 losses in Philly.
2 losses.
Not tripping.
But so Nick Foles once outplayed Tom Brady.
The issue is Lane Johnson. The issue is Lane Johnson.
Yeah, not him not being there is big.
Lane Johnson out of your lineup changes the identity of your run game. It changes the consistency in which you can have clean pockets. You can just shut one-on-one down with 65 and handle the rest with the other 4. They don't have that luxury right now. But I still am going to be picking the Eagles here. I don't think it has to be close either.
And the data when Lane's in the lineup and when he's not in the lineup is incredible how much better they are offensively. So that is a concern. I like Dallas in this.
It's like the WAR rating in baseball, right?
Yeah.
Like, how many wins above your replacement?
Yeah, by the way, I think Dallas, getting those guys back on defense, getting Quinnen Williams in the middle of that defense, really changes who they had 6 new guys playing. Overshawn was back. He's a big part of
He's one of my favorite players in the league.
Love him. And he's playing with a giant brace on his knee, but he still was able to get after the football. I think this is a great spot for the Cowboys, and I'm taking the Cowboys. By the way, Dak Prescott, I think they win
cover.
and I think they win the game. You don't need the points. You can take the Cowboys.
I got your pea cup right out there.
I think Dak Prescott's playing at such a high level now.
He is. And
not getting the credit he deserves. Everybody, he's getting guard. They have to throw the football around. He was fantastic on Monday night. I think he'll play well here. I'm taking the Cowboys.
I think we let CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens run the street Saturday night.
Why not? Look what they did after the fact, right? Why not?
That'd be you
let
and
him
me.
breathe. Let him loose.
Just let him do a thing.
Does he show up and play?
NFC South, Falcons, Saints, New Orleans,
Hate week.
Kirk Cousins.
They do hate each other,
Yeah.
by the way.
They
Have
do.
you ever-
I mean,
have you ever been to
They
one of those
do.
games? It's unreal.
You just had Cam Jordan and Matt Ryan on the show this past weekend. Like they did not.
It's amazing.
Like
They don't.
that.
And when you go to those, when I used to go to those games, I'd go to Atlanta or New Orleans. It'd be half Falcons fans in New Orleans and half Saints fans in Atlanta. It's incredible.
Saints slight favorites here. Michael Penix out. Kirk Cousins starting for the Falcons.
Look, Kirk Cousins was not very good last week when he went in, but again, he's the backup quarterback, and now we get the chance to see him get work with the ones. He knows he's going to play. He's going to play the rest of the way. This is what he wanted. I just think I saw some good things from Tyler Shuck the last time we saw him against Carolina. He made some really big-time throws, and they got to be encouraged by that. And so I think he will play better. Look, the Falcons last week turned Bryce Young into Dan Marino. I mean, that's what they did last week. He was fantastic.
And they had the #1 rated pass defense.
It was
in the league
incredible.
going into that.
They didn't tackle last week. It was amazing. He completed a pass and they missed tackles, and it was a disaster all the way around. I think I'm going to take the Saints in this spot because I think this is, you get Kirk Cousins in there, you lose your quarterback. There's going to be change in Atlanta. You know, whether it's the coach and the GM or both of them or whatever, there's going to be change coming in Atlanta. I'm going to take the Saints in this spot.
I'm going with the Saints, and I'm going to take the under. And that's my analysis.
It's getting tight.
Yeah? You
Because I saw some things from Shuck as well, and I think they're happily surprised with him in New Orleans.
So you don't think either team's going to score many points?
No, I'm going to take New Orleans.
Yeah. He went with an under.
Kirk
That's
Cousins.
like the opposite of loose.
Kirk Cousins. It's going to be tight.
Under 39.5. That is ugly.
Get me out of here. It's going to be 17 to 12 or something.
So that'd be one of those games you're at the
Go
bar
check
in
my math.
you're 2.5 hours, everybody's at the bar.
Yes,
too.
that's
Yeah.
a quick one.
All right, those are the 4 o'clock kickoffs on Sunday this week, Week 12 in the NFL. Jacksonville, Cleveland, New Orleans.
Yeah, there's a loose game, by the way.
Dallas, over.
You didn't even give us the loose on the Dallas game.
Loose. There you go. Wait.
Jalen Carter's going to be on a
And what about the
mission.
Saints game? It's going to be what?
Tight!
All right, we got more to pick.
Hate
Bucks and Rams.
those jerseys, too.
Sunday night football. You don't
Bad.
like those?
Burn them with the
those are
Patriots
those are
jerseys.
terrible.
They're not bad.
They're terrible.
They're not bad.
Awful.
Rams.
They look
at
like
home against the
dancers.
Bucks Sunday night. We'll pick that coming up.
They look like backup.
Back here on HQ Spotlight, we're picking every game against the spread. This week in the NFL, Week 12, Sunday night football. Baker Mayfield and the Bucks sliding. Matthew Stafford and the Rams are ascending.
Gliding would be.
Gliding. There you go. Perfect, Kyle. Thank you for that.
Sliding and gliding.
Sliding,
Wow.
gliding.
You should be a poet.
Yeah. Rams' longest winning streak in the NFC. They've won 5 straight, including that big game against Seattle last weekend. Pete, Bucks 0-2 since that bye week.
Yeah, and they haven't played that well. Baker Mayfield hasn't played that well. You know, we were talking about Baker Mayfield as the MVP, you know, a month ago, and that's not the case anymore. He just hasn't. The injuries have impacted him. I think he's banged up too. You know, he's not coming out and saying it, but he looks like he's banged up, and he just hasn't been the same player. Yeah, the schedule's toughened up a little bit too. You go to Buffalo and you're in that game. That's a tough place to play, and they play pretty well in that game. So, back-to-back road games, always a
Back-to-back
challenge.
road games.
Always a challenge. You know I hate that, but I think this number's a little high. I think that it's 6.5.
4.5.
Huh?
4.5.
6.5.
Well, if it was
4.5.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. I might lay it, but
You're greedy.
I'm taking the 6.5. I think the Bucks will hang around in this game. I think they're too talented, too good. And by the way, the Rams, you know, we've seen them at times not blow out teams. We saw it last week. I mean, that was a game you get 4 turnovers, you should blow a team out, and they didn't. So I do think that the Bucks will hang around. I'll take the points in this one.
I'm just going to do 10 seconds, moments of appreciation for Tristan Wirfs.
Oh.
Okay, just defying physics, defying all the laws of the universe, being able to move that well, that efficiently in the run game, dominating people, multiple blocks on explosive plays. It has to be a lot of fun to be that guy and play the game of football. That being said, I'm going to be picking the Los Angeles Rams, Matt Stafford, and the boys. They'll handle business against the Bucks.
How much do you think he weighs right now? Because he's an enormous man.
330.
He might be low. He looks like he's bigger than that. But he can move.
330.
He can move.
My goodness.
Well, he can move.
You guys
He's a
both
great player.
have the Rams winning, right? Pete, you have the Bucs covering, but the Rams winning.
Yes.
So if that happens and the Panthers win this week, Panthers would be in first place. Are you getting at all concerned that the Bucs may not win that division?
No, because I think the Panthers' schedule gets a little tougher and the Bucs' schedule gets a little easier. The Bucs have had a little run here where they've played some. You play some tough games. That matters in this league. And so, no, I'm not concerned. I think they're still going to win the division. But they do got to pick it up. And all those injuries have finally started to take the toll on them. I mean, you don't have your weapons. That matters. I mean, no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin, no McMillan. I mean, that matters. Bucky Irvin. Even though Sean Tucker's run the ball really well for them, it matters when you don't have those guys.
Go look out front of all the Sean Tucker runs, and you're going to see an absolute Goliath just clearing the way for him. That's Tristan Wirfs. Fun to watch.
Bucky Irving and Chris Godwin practicing again this week. They came back to practice last week. Hopefully get them back sometime in the next couple
One major
weeks.
concern for the Bucs, they got to start getting the pass rush home. I mean, their pass rush hasn't been what they hoped it would be. And if you can't rush the passer, you're not going that deep into the playoffs.
All right. It's Bucs, it's Rams. We mentioned the Panthers. We still have that game to pick against the 49ers. Sunday game day recap, Pete. Now, why does Pete get so much headroom on his
I'm little.
show?
I'm little.
Everybody gets all the headroom.
I'm little.
And there's no headroom to go around on Kyle.
I can walk in any room and there'll be plenty of headroom.
Pete told us today that every time he buys pants, he has to spend an extra $20 to get them hemmed.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Just wear shorts.
In here?
Just wear long shorts.
Yeah, break out
Be
your
jorts.
jorts.
He supposed to be
Pete loved jorts. The
jorts.
Jacksonville jorts.
Have you ever, Chris Hassel wore jorts
Oh,
in
yeah.
Iowa.
Hey, Pete,
There's no doubt.
Pete, I got some tickets this weekend to go to the hot tub at Jacksonville. You want to come watch a football game?
I wouldn't get in that cesspool if
I'll
you
bring
paid
you
me.
some floaties.
Can't have no earthly idea what's in there.
We got one more game to pick before we get to our best bets, and it's Monday Night Football. The return of Brock Purdy last week was great. Now he's taking on Bryce Young. Interesting quarterback matchup. Two guys coming off great games. All my rowdy friends are coming over tonight. Monday Night Football, Panthers, Niners, quarterback scales. Pete, Bryce Young coming off his franchise record showing, throwing for almost 500 yards.
He was great last week.
And Brock Purdy returning and looking great for the 49ers as they host the Panthers as 6.5-point favorites on Monday Night Football. Sportsline has some numbers for both of these teams. Niners, 81% chance to make the playoffs. Panthers, 13% chance to make the playoffs.
You know, it's funny, last week we were watching that game, and I said it's amazing the difference when Brock Purdy's in the game compared to when Mac Jones is in the game.
And why is that?
It just because he knows the offense, he knows where to go with the football. It's more precise. And Mac Jones did a nice job as a backup quarterback, but there's a clear difference between the two of them. And you can see it when they're on the field. You can see him, he has command of the offense, the players respond to him more. It flows better. And I think you saw glimpses of the 49ers offense we expected to see this year. And I think this is going to be a bad situation for the Panthers because I do think Brock Purdy and that offense is getting to where they can make plays down the field. And McCaffrey does so many different things. And this is his former team, a revenge game. You know, he's got his former team, as Jamie Eisenberg likes to say. But the reality is the 49ers are really good on offense. They have problems on defense. And so what happens with Bryce Young? Can he carry that over? I don't think he does. I think this is a tough spot for that team. And we talked about it earlier, Chris. They're a young team. They don't know, even keel. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. And I think this is a down week for him. I think Purdy will play well. I'll take the 49ers.
You go in, you rent a car, and you get in, and you can't figure out how to get it into gear sometimes. You're like, where the hell is this thing? Where's the key go? That's what having a backup quarterback's in when you're playing offense. It's, nothing's really the same as your car. You get Brock Purdy back in there, and it's like, keys there, bang, seatbelts on, and we're rolling. And it feels like Brock Purdy has that team feeling confident. And I was part of the group that was like, keep Mac Jones in. It ain't broke, don't fix it. But it turns out there's an even better version of this San Francisco offense with Brock Purdy. I've got the San Francisco 49ers. Even though our guy Bryce Young had a good week, I still don't buy that football team as a whole. I still feel like they're a year or a couple years away. And this Niners team's been for real. Christian McCaffrey healthy. That's everything for the Niners right now.
And by the way, what the hell do you know about renting cars? You get a driver everywhere you go.
Stop it.
Look at these wins as an underdog, though. That's 6 wins already, straight up as an underdog.
Dave Canales has done a heck of a job with this team. Look, they're a young team. They're physical. They're tough. They're moving in the right direction. They just need a little bit more help and hope like heck that Bryce Young can be more like he was last week than what he's been at times this year. And if that's the case, they have their guy and they can build around him. If he regresses this week, then you're going to question, okay, was that an aberration or a norm? Because he went into last week with one game throwing over 200 yards.
Yeah, then he throws for 450.
Yeah. So can he build on that? That's the most important thing.
He changed the difficulty in Madden. He went all Madden down to Pro. He brought it down.
And he got his average way up too by doing that. We talk about the NFC West, and it's those two teams we saw play last week, the Rams and the Seahawks. 49ers have kind of been in the background because of all those injuries. Do you think they can still be a factor in that division the rest of the way?
Yes, because of the 49ers. And they get guys back. And they are getting guys back. And that's what you're seeing on offense. The problem is you're not getting two guys back on defense. Mm-hmm. You don't have Bosa and you don't have Fred Warner. And those two guys are the heart and soul of that defense. So I think they're going to have to win games by scoring a lot of points because I don't think defensively, and we saw Brissett threw all those for over 400 yards last week against them, so I don't think they can consistently shut down offenses week in and week out.
All right. That's it. Until best bets.
All my ratty friends.
Your throat hurts when you do that.
It feels good.
No, it doesn't.
It feels good.
It hurts our ears, I can tell you that.
They agree on San Francisco, -6.5 at home against the Panthers, and the Bills, -5.5 against the Texans. Those are the prime time games. Again, no international games. Those are done with for the season.
Feeling real patriotic this week.
Yeah, you are. Like the game back on American soil, do you?
It's our game.
We're seeing the Bills. Is somebody picking the Bills as their best bet? We'll find out.
Oh,
Next.
who could that be?
It's best bet time. And Peter Pie is on top. 7-4.
I'm on fire.
Faux Pete.
Fire.
Get the fire department. This one's out of
We
control.
got burned last week by that Commanders over.
It happens.
I'm sorry, not the Commanders, the Bengals over.
It
Bengals.
happens.
You both had it, right?
Jamar
You
Chase
copied
got
each
a
other's-
little carried away.
You copied each other's paper.
Yeah, we did, and it cost us.
And
Okay,
the producer exotic that hit right last week.
I'm being told, yes, it lost last week. No, they do not have an exotic play this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Pete, what's your pick?
Cowboys. I think they win the game outright. You're not going to need the points.
Cowboys money line?
No, I'm not going to give you the money line. I'm taking the points. I'm not that foolish. I'm taking the points. I think the Cowboys are going to play really good football against the Eagles, and they're desperate. And they really look good Monday night. Short week concerns me a little bit, but I think they find a way to win this game.
You're really feeling good about yourself. You put the Cowboys on your best bet.
You know what my best bet was last week was the Browns, remember?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Bills. I think it's -5.5 at Houston. The way Josh Allen was running around with that thing the other day, and to your point, even if he turns it over twice, go score 5 times. I'll forget about those two. Give me the Bills.
You'll know early in the game if you got a winner.
Yeah.
If they turn and run and hand the ball off,
Yep.
you got a loser. If they go out and play loose and free, you got a winner.
Play loosey-goosey.
Yep.
Play loose for Pete to get that. I've got Packers -6.5 against the Vikings.
I love that.
I'm just waiting for this. I know you guys both picked the Packers in that game. Waiting for them to just kind of put the pedal to the metal again.
And for Minnesota to be like, this is who we are. We're just not very good offensively.
J.J. McCarthy.
They got to be concerned about it.
Road game.
I like your pick. I like your pick too.
I
That's not a good
love your pick. The Packers,
Well, you're a Packers fan.
My guy Joey upstairs, shout out to Joey and up there in the research room up there. He's a huge Packers fan, so we go back and forth all the time. And, I've been giving him hell for like 8 weeks now. You guys almost lost to this team, almost lost. This is where, if you're this Packers team that has to make a run, go dominate a divisional opponent and make it easy for everybody.
I'm certain I know which producer made this pick for their pick of the week. It's usually a different person each time. This has got to be a Jack pick.
Yeah.
Bucks +6.5 at the Rams.
So a homer pick.
Homer pick from Jack.
But
it's not exotic.
No, it's not exotic. I like it.
You do like that. You picked that.
I do. I like, fade my number one team in the power rankings. You're usually going to win that.
Every week you got a new team number
Well,
one.
that's the NFL this year. It changes every week.
This league.
Nobody's any good. Nobody is any good.
Somebody's got to be good.
December, somebody will be good.
Jalen Hurts.
Although Pete does say, you give the Broncos a bunch of flack. You give the Eagles a bunch of flack because they don't have great offenses right now. But those two teams are 8-2 and tied for.
Yeah, that's trench warfare wins in this league too,
He
and
doesn't
that's what
like
the Eagles
defense.
do.
No, I love defense. I just want a capable quarterback.
He doesn't like football weather. Did you like football weather?
What is football weather?
Snow.
I like cold. Anything under
Outdoors.
45 degrees, I'm game for.
Put all the games inside.